So what would the Nazis built Treblinka probably from the beginning of May. From the end of May, they started. They'd been murdering people in death camps in Chełm nad Ner from December 1941, in Sobibor, in Bełżec from March 1942, and the biggest ghetto was in Warsaw. Whereas by the summer of 1942, around 100,000 people had died of starvation, of diseases which were deliberately started. Typhus is not really a naturally occurring disease. In the 20th century, obviously it occurs naturally, but it occurs because of the massive amount of pressure on the population, people living on top of each other, not proper food, they can't change their clothes, dirt, lice. Now, what would happen was when they started deporting people here, they'd bring them to a spot where we are now. This area here is the Umschlagplatz, and what was where the cars just beyond just before we parked, roughly where the sign is now. There was a wall that went across. The building on the right is the only original standing building now from the northern part of the ghetto. I say original because the building here on the left here as well was sort of in the ghetto, and then it was sort of wasn't, because this building here was a hospital. And on the 22nd of July 1942, the Nazis came in here, or it might be the 25th of July, I can't remember. The Nazis came and told the patients, the doctors, they had 24 hours to get out, because this building was needed for the deportations. And when people were brought to the Umschlagplatz, they were held in this area we have now. So you've got photographs and things like that, and people are sitting on the ground. They're brought in here, which is now outside the ghetto, and they're held here before being taken. And we'll walk down there. Taken from a spot just behind this building by rail, which would take them to the death camp of Treblinka, where they'd be gassed. Now the rail lines were built here. This was a branch line. It was a branch line from a railway station which is a kilometre or so from here, and it was built in the 20s for a factory, so it's a normal ordered. Somebody needed it to transport the goods in and out, and they had this done. But for the ghetto, the Nazis, it was a convenient place to take people from here to the gas chambers at Treblinka. This is a monument to the I don't know what's happened here. The monument to the victims, the Umschlagplatz. This was built in the 90s. This is after the socialist time. The wall, the height is like there was in the ghetto.
Is it a memorial for it?
It's a memorial, yeah. It's obviously being done up again. Huh? But the building beside it here, this was a school. Then it was a hospital for the ghetto, and then it was used by the Nazis. People were held there in this building, sometimes outside, when they were before being transported. So what they do is that people wouldn't report voluntarily. At the beginning, some of them did report voluntarily, but they had to be rounded up. And once you'd rounded them up, you had to put them somewhere, so they were left here. Under guard, Ukrainian guards sometimes, from sometimes people from Germany as well. And the railway station's roughly, it's behind these buildings now. I mean, these buildings are all socialist era. Some very nice buildings behind there. And this is ulica Statki.